short MUTCD. This is with regards to maintaining traffic signs' retroreflectivity. In other words, the brightness reflection of the traffic signs. The final ruling on this is far-reaching in effect and applies to most regulatory signs, warning, street, name signs, and both ground-mounted and overhead guide signs, whether permanent or temporary. All public roads, all private roads where the public is invited to travel. And just an observation, we have no overhead signs in the village. So what does this whole retroreflectivity mean? In January 2008, the federal government ruled that Type 1 engineering grade sheeting is not to be used on many standard MUTC traffic signs. The ruling is slightly confusing in that Type 1 will meet standards on some signs, but on hundreds of others it will not. The concerns of the local municipalities and even the sign companies recommend using high-intensity prismatics, HIP, on all traffic signs except parking. What does this new rule require? The federal standard as published in the Manual on Uniform Traffic Control Devices requires all agencies having jurisdiction to implement a method to keep traffic signs above the established minimum level of retroreflectivity by January 2012. What is the Manual on Uniform Traffic Control Devices? It's the national standard for all the traffic control devices on any street, highway, bicycle paths open to the public. Now, if we don't comply, what happens if we don't comply? We risk exposure to tort liability if someone is injured or worse yet, loss of life. So we could get sued. The regulations apply to most regulatory warning signs, to street name signs, guide signs. These signs are also referred to white, red, yellow, green, or orange series signs. Excluded signs, and this is important for us because no parking, no standing, no walking, hitchhiking, adopt a highway, all signs with blue or brown backgrounds and bikeway signs that are intended for exclusive use by bicyclists. Now, is there a compliance timetable for this regulation? You guys know. There are 3 different compliance dates, and the clock started ticking for 4 to 7 and 10-year periods simultaneously as of January 22nd, 2008. So the first compliance date was January 22nd, 2012. The second compliance date was 2015. A 7-year replacement period has been established for regulatory warning and ground-mounted guide signs. Those are our stop signs, no parking, the bends, this, that whole stuff. The third compliant are the green signs. The 2018, a 10-year replacement has been established for the street name signs and overhead. Now, of course, we don't have overhead, but we do have green and white. And Joe and Harry, I think, have worked on that. Reflectivity comes in 3 grades. One's called an engineering grade prismatic. That's the ones we have. They're only good up to 500 feet. They are not compliant. There's high-intensity prismatic, HIP, compliant, good for up to 1,000 feet, most commonly used and cost-effective. Diamond grade prismatic, they're compliant, they're good for 1,500 feet, but they're a few bucks, they're about 25% higher. Now, within this report, I enclosed a village map with the legend, right here. Thank you. With the legend designating all our signs with type and locations. I believe it to be fairly accurate. I omitted our quaint old white signs, the old-fashioned vertical street name signs, since they're not really traffic signs, and eventually they have to be replaced with the aluminum green signs to be compliant. As of yesterday, we have a total of 93 signs. Now, Joe, when I first saw this, I kind of freaked out because I thought every one of them had to be replaced, and we had to do major things. 38 of them are stop signs, 5 of them are no outlets, 6 of them are dead end, 12 of them are street sign, street name, some of them are no parking. The list goes down to about 15. But there's 20 unaccounted greens that need to be installed. That's what I counted by driving through the town 7 or 8 or 90 times. Feel free to correct that if I'm wrong. Pricing. Now, I got nothing in stone, but this is what I did acquire. I got over the phone quotes. We have to get 30 by 30 stop signs, 30 inch by 30 inch HIP. They range from $35 to $45. Parking, $18, $19. Now, I don't know if we're gonna do this piecemeal, I don't know if we're gonna do this a bid. I left out the post. Post, go from anywhere from about $40 each with the hardware. A couple of the other towns get 12-foot posts, cut them down. My personal concern is and I didn't delve into this, I don't think we're ready for this part yet, but relocating the sign posts. There are existing water lines out there and gas lines, so that, I know down Vanderbilt we have some gas. I'm a little nervous moving from what we have, even though we may not be in compliance there. We're gonna fine tune this, but when the time comes where we wanna get down and dirty with this, we'll dig it up. What I'd like to do, the priorities of stop signs are worn out. I recommend a drive-through, Harry, John, any of us, 2 or 3 of us get in the car, drive through and say, hey, let's do this one, let's do that one, let's do that. You know, we might miss something.
Are the prices including to be installed?
No, these are no labor prices. Observation, stop signs at Singing Wood. I just saw this with Singing Wood in Indian Valley. There's one up at what I wrote down, the Mayor's Corner. Do the main roads first, and then I wrote, any questions, call an expert. So there we are. That's what I got. I'm going to give this copy to Joe. And unofficially, and I wrote it all out, but I didn't bring it here. I said it the last time. I drove into Belterre, I drove into Lake Grove, I drove into different villages and hamlets. Belterre's got these wooden, they're gorgeous, they're wooden signs. They're made up, I don't know, 3 by 3 stains, walnut, whatever they are. And they have the signs screwed onto them, really nice looking. Now, they have till 2018 to replace them, so I don't know if they're going to rip them all down, but I spoke to one of the ladies in the office over at Belterre, and she said, we're not moving on anything yet.
Mm-hmm.
Port Jeff, I spoke to a guy over there, he gave me some of the information. I left out 4 places, bid places. One of them is Eastern Correctional Facility, where Harry mentioned that the price was cheaper. They were like $36. The highest end was a company called Econo Sign. They were $44. There's a place that Port Jeff put out to bid. Actually, Brookhaven put out to bid. Was it Newman Signs? I wrote it down. I have it down. But they have everything. They have the poles. The only problem is they're in North Dakota, so shipping, we have to find a place local to get poles. When it comes down to get the poles, we have to find somebody local. It's crazy to pay shipping. It will be a fortune. But the stop signs seem to be the things we're going to have to move on. They have vinyl transfers that they sell where you save $5 or $6 each. I talked to 2 or 3 people and they say, forget it, because we don't know how long they're going to wear. And they're not cost effective either, because now you have to pay somebody to strip out the stuff with sketching acid and then put this vinyl transfer down. So I kind of skipped over. I took it upon myself to skip over that. If you really have any questions or anything that's we need to know, I'd be happy to look it up if I don't have the answer.
Okay.
We'll make
Send
it
out
up.
to everybody, we can look at it.
And the original's there. I made a copy for myself. We'll be here.
Okay.
Okay?
Yep, thank you.
You got it.
This sounds like a longer-term project, you know, it's done, so just wonder whether or not we can kind of cut it up into the short run and the long run.
Yeah.
Well, theoretically, we've already gone past the time limit on just about everything.
Right.
I just know that we have, I know at least 2 stop signs that are virtually illegible.
Right, and those are the ones we should attack
And
right
we
away.
are missing entirely the corner of
Right.
Walnut and Chestnut. We don't have a one-way sign now.
Well, they
we don't
all
have a
got,
stop
yeah,
sign.
This actual sign is out in the back.
There's about 10
So,
signs
I
out there
just
that
would
are
like to agree that we'll jump on these things that have some immediate need, and then we can.
Yeah, we can
Well,
scan that in.
Part of the problem is that if the Suffolk County Police were to come in here, on any sign it isn't up to standards. And if they should have a lawyer come with them any sign that would be up there, the ticket would be thrown out
Oh,
immediately.
Well, the thing is with that, Harry, is Belterre, they better start with Belterre and Port Jeff first.
Well, we
And then
can't worry about Belterre or
Understood.
whatever, we can only worry
But-
about
We'll do
here.
it, but we gotta just jump on this.
Yeah, so I think the first step is why don't we just send the file, see how many we have, and go from there. so.
Do the drive-through, and then the things, the 2018, I think that's gonna be a big, that's gonna be a big hit, is the 20, green and white street signs. Those were like $21 a piece or something like that, double-sided 38. Frankly, when I saw this first, I thought it was gonna be 80, 90,000, it's gonna bust the budget. And that, we have till 2018 to do that.
Okay.
The
And
other
then we
ones,
have to find out who's sold.
yeah, but there were signs out there that we gotta, should do within a 90,
Oh, yeah.
you know.
Yep, I agree.
Before you can put that into any digging, you have to always have a survey of where your gas lines are, like, lines and stuff. So I think that there's also some kind of thing coming up where these signs cannot be permanent signposts, they have to be these quite
Yeah.
raised signposts.
Oh.
And they're going to be more expensive.
Harry, I need to, I looked at that, I researched that. Joe confirmed this. It's in a, what is that zone? A full of
Clear zone.
A clear zone. They're required only in a clear zone. The village of, and that's what I thought we were gonna go nuts with the pricing. We don't have any clear zones here in the village. Clear zone being the definition is that if you pull over the side of the road, you have another lane there, about 7, 8 feet wide, so you can pull out of the traffic.
Like a shoulder.
So it's a shoulder, 7, 8 foot lane. And the only thing I could think was the mud on Washington, which isn't big enough, and it's gotta be clear. So we dodged a bullet with that one.
So the signs don't have to be great.
No, and the posts don't actually have to be replaced either, Harry. If we have to just replace the stop sign, I didn't get the height on it, I didn't get all the requirements yet.
Well, that'll be the,
But if we can use the same posts and put these new hip signs on it, and if we have to move them later, we just unbolt them. We just get them in there for now, just to have the sign. So if anybody does drive through, they say, hey, the village is making an attempt to upgrade. They'll see new signs, see the upgrade, and then if we have anybody squawking, we'll call the county, call Nassau, National Grid, check the gas lines, check the water lines, Suffolk Water, and I don't know, we might have to get a permit from Brookhaven, I'm not really sure, I don't know. There you go.
So is your recommendation is to replace the actual sign at the posts and leave them where they are?
I would think now, well, that's why I want to do the drive-through again, because I know Harry will see something I don't see, Joe will see something, well, you know, 3 of us in the truck, or 4 of us in the truck, we'll bicker until we come up with something to, you know, put a sign
Part
up.
of the
But
problem.
there were 5 or 6 that
signs
got
are,
up.
probably most of them, if not all, are illegal the way they are. There's stipulations on how far off the road, how far from the intersection, how high are the signs, they can only be a variance of, you know, a few inches from the bottom, you know, on the bottom or the top. And, that's gonna have to be something that's gotta be corrected
I
if we're
think the
gonna
first
do.
step though is to figure out which ones we're gonna replace and we'll go through that. Okay.
Good start.
And one more thing, if we have a height problem with that, because some of those signs we have now are short, I'm just thinking, just for a quick fix, to get the sign up to 8 feet where it's supposed to be, go out, get some of that U-channel, cut it, bolt it up, hold that sign up to 8 feet at the bottom, done. That's what I'm thinking.
Well, I can get the hardware.
Good man.
So.
All right, well, let's start with the physical place first and then we can go from there. Okay. All right, Joe,
We're still working on your contact.
okay, so we'll put that for next month. The light at Walnut, I think it was Bill, who said it wasn't turned right, or wasn't on the wire at the last meeting.
I had, all the lights down there done by Wolfpack Electric last month.
So they moved it so that he could see the guide wire?
I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know what he's talking about. Regarding,
The light at California Beach is not 10
not
feet.
California, I'm talking Walnut.
Yeah, I know.
Do you want to, we could have code put out and look and see? Okay.
Madam Mayor, that is a guide wire from the pole that goes onto the sand. The
Okay.
light is working, and we've marked that guide wire with yellow caution tape.
Oh, okay, so good.
By the way, speaking of lights, we have a missing light altogether in that same intersection. There's no light
On the post, yeah.
Yeah, Walnut.
on
The Chestnut.
So we need that. That's the reinstall.
Yep.
Nothing up there.
Is that where the tree came down?
The light that's outside of 8 Singing Wood Vidkin's house stays on all the time. It's on all day.
Doesn't matter.
Why not?
Lighting electricity is calculated by PSE and G for nighttime hours only, based upon when the sun sets and when the sun rises. They don't basically say you're being paid 24 hours for use.
All right.
Frank,
Except for the traffic.
you want to report? I understand we filled all the positions.
Yes, we hired 3 new officers. Charles Wanzer, who is a retired New York City correctional officer and currently a federal police lieutenant. James Murdocco, he is a deputy warden for a juvenile detention facility and a code enforcement officer for Port Jefferson Village. And William Bohm, who is has firefighter experience with the Poquott Fire Department and EMS experience with Port Jeff Ambulance. So at this point, one of them has already completed training. He's on his own. The other one is completing training within the next week, and the other will be starting training within the next week. So we expect by December, everything will be filled, and we may even hire one additional as a per diem, just to fill in.
Okay, great. Thank you. Okay, so John, encroachment on Chestnut. Any updates on that? Did you do anything with that?
No, I asked Harry to take pictures or let code know to go over there, examine what's going on, and take appropriate steps.
Did you speak to code?
I've talked to Harry, and Harry didn't do anything about it.
I did do something about it, so shut up, please. I actually spoke to one of the homeowners, and he told me, with no question about it, first off, he said I should sit down there, and that was Vinny Casilli project. I should give John some messages. The first one is, you should go F yourself. 2, he'll remove it over his dead body. 3, maybe yours. 4, he's never going to remove it. It's been there for 30 years. And if you want to, and you come to him nicely, he'll let you use his driveway at 68 so you can back your motorhome out of the driveway into his driveway.
I don't need it for
And
that.
that's all he's, and that's all,
Matter of safety,
that's all he's going to
fire
do.
department.
I
And
didn't
it's
talk,
not just Vinnie's.
I
How
didn't,
dare you say what you said to me?
I know, I'm not gonna say and change anything. I did not speak to John Cavello. I didn't bring this up, you did. So if you wanna
No.
talk to him, you go talk to
This has
him.
been brought up in the
This is
past
the
by
problem.
other neighbors
Okay.
who
This is a
had
problem. We know this is a
problems
problem.
with
So how
ambulances
we
coming
gonna
to
fix it?
visit them.
Okay.
And Joe, I hope you have all that in the minutes.
Sickness.
All
Yeah.
this
Just like
choice
in
He
casual
does.
conversation.
That's exactly what he told me to tell you.
You do?
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh,
Okay. So the next step is what do we do? Do we notify the homeowners and we let them know this has to be done?
There's also, before we even get in, it's not just John Cavello or Vinnie's driveway. Vinnie said something about a Marshall's got an island or something out there.
Yeah.
I don't know about,
Been there many years.
so, you know, how do we at this point start changing all of these things that have been
If I
there?
could make a suggestion, because it really speaks to this thing that we were talking about with so many other things in the village. We have to get an idea of where our property is. We, however it's done, and, you know, for a while we were talking about there's just kind of a simple way to do it, looking off of deeds.
Right, so I started that process. I'm working with the title company in Riverhead. I requested some of the initial deeds. And we do have the tax map, but the tax map's not accurate. We should really go by the deeds in the area where there's obvious encroachments. This really is not a personal dispute between two people. It has nothing to do with what just happened. We really, as a village, have to resolve. If there's an encroachment, it has to be removed. I mean, that's it. And we don't lose the road or the right of way over 30 years or 300 years. It doesn't matter if it's a road. It's a road. You don't lose it.
Sorry.
So anyway, yes, we're working on it.
So it seems to me, though, that all the issues that we've been talking about, is taking pictures and talking to this one and that one, is really.
Well, we thought the first step would be that we speak to them, that it would be removed.
We don't even know, we can't even say with any certainty that there is a problem.
No, there is a problem, we know,
Well, how do we know if we don't know where the property lines are?
because cars can't get up the road, fire department can't get up the road,
That
you
might not
know.
be their problem. In other words, we've already determined that the road meanders, and it can be all the way over to one side.
We know from the residents on the street who sent anonymous letters that they've slowly encroached on the road.
Okay, I don't want to be argumentative, I'm just saying that if we're going to go about it deliberately, it seems to me we have to first ascertain with certainty that there's an encroachment on the road. And that has nothing to, they can say whatever they want to say, and however long it's
Do we know
been.
the
Which
numbers?
Joe is looking into,
Right.
which would be great.
So once we have that, we can then just send them a letter and say that they're encroaching, and let them.
I'm sort of looking at the larger, but if there's one particular
It's
problem.
one street,
Okay, so I'll take a look at that.
okay, and I'll send you the address.
You can tell me what it is, and
And then so they come.
I'll deal with it.
Right,
I mean, it's an opportune time if we can jump on
well,
this, because of the
I,
problem.
no,
we
why
have
don't you
with it.
send him the addresses, it's your street, let him know, then he can go look up what it is and go from there.
Sure.
Okay, we have to, pick dates for the meeting for 2016. The organizational meeting we originally set for was July, I think it's the 11th, let me just look and see. It was July 11th, because July 4th is on a Monday. And so that's also the planning board has a meeting that night. So we can either change the time of the organizational meeting and make it at 6, since the planning board's at 7:30, or we could change the date to the Thursday after 4th of July, which would be July 7th. Well, it would have been Monday, but Monday, July 4th, that's a holiday. So no, yeah. Okay. What are we saying? The 7th or the 11th?
Two of them in the same night, is not good.
Yeah, I agree with that. As you said,
No,
yeah,
you want to?
July 4th, there's a lot of people missing.
Yeah. Right, so it is 7th? Decision?
I would do it, if you know, on July 5th, I would do it the first available day.
Okay, July 5th. Okay. Okay, then we have meeting in December.
I would vote on it, I'm sorry.
Oh, don't we do the resolution at the next meeting?
I'm sorry, you could.
Right.
Thanks.
It's in the agenda, yeah.
Okay.
And then the other dates that we have to do is the rest of the month. So January would have been one of the Saturday meetings, then February would have went back to night, March would have went back to the Saturday, April would have been night, May would have been a Saturday, and June would have been at night. If we're still sticking with that, then we need to pick which, we're gonna stick with the second Thursday of each month, and it's either the Thursday or the Saturday, if that's what we wanna do.
Have we had good turnout for Saturday meetings? It doesn't seem like I've been to a Saturday meeting. Am I missing it?
Well, the Saturday meeting was not last time, it was
Yeah, that one was good,
today.
and then before that, it
Right.
was a long time ago. So,
Is it an issue? And I think we should have a
we did it, I thought it was a
second
experiment to get
Thursday,
more
first
people at the
Thursday
meetings.
of the month.
Are they well attended?
People can
Well, it
plan
was the
on.
one that we have. I mean,
But if we have a consistent date, then we
Yeah, the consistent date that people can rely upon and set their calendars for them to.
think they'll accommodate people that work, that wanna come. Okay. I mean, we could do January and Saturday and see how it goes. And then that's it, just book January's meeting, do the rest of them after that, it's fine too. I'll do that.
What was that date?
January 9th will be the second Saturday.
Right?
Yeah.
9:30?
And it'll, see how that goes, and then that meeting we can go from there. Okay. Okay, letter from the resident about unmarked, vehicles. I think that was from Lee Thompson, right?
Yes, yeah.
What did you say, John?
He seems to think that we'd be allowing unsavory characters, so to speak, into the road if we don't have signs on all of our workers coming in, if they don't all have approved permits. But after further talking to him, he was more afraid of things going down on the beach, particularly Walnut Beach, and he raised the idea that he goes down there in the morning and he sees some people down there that don't belong. I asked him where the car's parked, and he didn't know. So I can see his concern, and I understand his concern. But we already have rules saying that you can't park on the street. If you're going to park on the street, you stick out like a sore thumb. People are aware of it. If you have somebody coming to your house in a van, and code enforcement thinks they're doing work there or something like that, it opens up a whole new can of worms. Plus, he would like people to come and get a permit for any work they're going to do. You charge a minimal charge, which means we're going to need extra clerk. Code enforcement is going to have to be more vigilant, making sure people maintain a current permit. And in the way he has it set up, every 4 hours they have to give a new permit. So I don't see how we really want to do this.
Do we want to entertain the idea that vendors that are in the village have to get permits to work in the village, or no?
I think they should. I mean, we've talked about that. Yeah.
But what would the permit be for? Would it be just for a day? Would it be a permit to come in for the next month?
Like register for
Yeah.
a year?
Yeah, register for a year. It's
So,
fine.
who are we actually gonna sit down there and have get permits? If you have a leak and you have a plumber come in, he's gotta come and get a permit for it?
And that's a good point too.
I mean, that's not, first off, it's gonna raise everybody's cost. I mean, if they gotta come here and sit around and waste an hour or two to get a permit,
We'll come back every 4
I mean,
hours.
at $80, $90, $100 an hour, they're gonna charge the homeowner for that. I think I think what his original intent was when I talked to him months ago, he wanted all the vehicles to have names and whatnot on them. Just so that you could sit down there and tell who these people were. I
But
mean,
how do we control that?
Yeah, someone can go and just get a sign, put a sign in it.
One person is maybe complaint? Are we having some kind of problem?
Well, it wasn't just one person, we also had when the houses were broken into, we had people asking how many was in the village, when they were in the village. You know, how to control who's gonna be in the village.
Yeah, we're having that discussion, and we're not a gated community, and it just seems to me unnecessarily restrictive. And the old saying, government doesn't act, government reacts. So if we have a problem, then we have to brainstorm on how to address the problem. But in the meantime, it's not as if they're having rampant crime. I have this feeling that everybody who drives in is gonna be strip searched or something. I mean, it's like, it's not that kind of a community. I think it unnecessarily targets laborers, and they look unseemly, or you get into some racial stuff here. I just think it's really not. It's not enough of a problem that rises to the level of us doing all this legislating, and then it really does pose an imposition on the average resident who wants to get a leak fixed.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, you got plumbing come in for an hour's worth of work, you gotta get a permit.
I mean, if we
You know, if it's a guy that comes in to fix your stove, and he's not a, you know, a company, he works for himself or something, all these things are gonna sit down there and get charged
I
them
know
for.
the code does approach.
So let's just send him a letter saying thank you for your.
I think,
That's it.
I
Yeah,
think
which
if
is
you
what I
wanna
said
just,
to him when I talked to him, I thanked him for his input, and I listened to why he thought we needed it, and I told him I would do that, but obviously, it's too much.
I think if, there should be, you know, a vehicle parked in the street or in a driveway, and, I mean, I think code has to take it in
They
some
do approach
the-
the
yeah.
car.
discretion, you know, whether they look like they, need to be looked at, who they are and whatnot. And, you know, if it's an unmarked vehicle, then they sit down there, can just sit down there and ask, what are you doing there? Who are you?
They do.
Again, that opens up a can of worms because,
If they don't have
You
a
know.
permit on their car, a village permit on their car, they can approach them.
so,
And people can always call if they have a question and a suspicion.
and if they can't get code, they call 911. Say there's, what they think is a suspicious vehicle.
Do you wanna give us the update on stickers for 2016?
Okay, we sent out a memorandum regarding boat stickers and what we wanted to do with them this year, coming up 2016. Also, we're looking for the car stickers, but that's a separate issue. The problem we have is that the racks on Walnut and Van Brunt are all numbered the same thing as basically California. They run one through. We run stickers 1 through 150. We've been designating 50 for California, 50 for Walnut, and 50 for Van Brunt. We can continue with that and just get the same 150 stickers, or we can do what they did a couple of years ago and physically get stickers designated for the specific beach.
Was there a big problem caused by that?
All
You know,
we-
the way you've been doing it?
No, not the way we've been doing it, no, but I don't think there's a problem with the other way either. There's no problem either way, but we just wanna know. And we got one problem with the fact that we want to run some of those spots in the rack for surfboards,
Paddleboard.
paddleboards. Which would mean we would physically end up sectioning off a spot to 3 spots for 3 different paddleboards. And we're gonna end up with a problem with, what do we do for the numbering? For paddleboard 1, 2, and 3.
I think we just need to sit down there and issue them 1 through 150 and put the numbers on each thing. I know at California, David's already put up the 2x4s so that he can sit down there